What's up everyone, Wolf here. In today's video we'll be looking at the live reveal event trailer as well as the first look breakdown, including my own little breakdown of the new zombies mode coming to Vanguard. Take a look.
Our partners at Sledgehammer Games have already revealed Call of Duty Vanguard's immersive campaign and intense multiplayer, all set in World War II. And now, keeping true to our zombies nature, Treyarch is back for another round. Studio responsible for bringing zombies to Call of Duty more than a decade ago returns to World War II, and Sledgehammer Games' Vanguard, setting the stage for a new zombies experience. Black Ops Cold War offered the team at Treyarch the opportunity to introduce players to the Dark Ether storyline, beginning with the opening the Dark Ether gateway at Project End Station. And now, prepare to face a new type of evil, meet new allies, and make new enemies. Prepare for a gameplay experience that gets you to the fun faster, all wrapped in a brand new dimension of zombies. In Vanguard, we're introducing a brand new zombies experience and a franchise-first crossover that builds on the Dark Ether universe, and today, our team will share more about the story, the lore, core gameplay, weapons, and characters that will define the next chapter in the Zombies saga. But first, let's whet our appetites with the world premiere of the new Zombies gameplay trailer.
Oberfuhrer Wolfram von List. You are the instrument of my revenge. I give you an army of the dead. But our enemies have allies from beyond this mortal realm. Our strength is
Fortunately, already seen a little bit of this. This is recorded after the event. We're going to have to break this down a little bit, and I'll try my best to break it down from what I've understood, not only from what they're telling us in the video, and also from a lot of the lead influence sources that I have over on Twitter. They are all pretty much on the same baseline as what I'm going to try to explain to you, so please bear with me as I try my best, and please don't hate on me because this is not my doing. I'm just trying to cover this so everyone that I know and everyone that follows me can be very well informed before purchasing the game. Death is only the beginning.
The team at Treyarch is pulling out all the stops to tell a new, brutal story that expands and explores the unsettling world The Dark Ether. It's a story that longtime players will appreciate, but one that will be easy for new players to pick up and play.
That's going to be really good because there's so much prehistory, so much backstory, so much stuff to know inside the original Zombies mode up to now. I mean, this last couple seasons, we've pretty much found ourselves at Project End Station, working our way to try to put an end to this outbreak, and then we have this character from the other side, the Forsaken, that has greatly rose to power over a very short time. And we have a very good idea of where the story is as of now, and as to where it ended with Maxis and Forsaken. However, there's a lot of questions that have yet to be answered. And what I mean by this is the pre-story, before we ended up at this old abandoned knock and found Project End Station underneath of it. The irony that we always found that knock was where they found it. The original map of the Call of Duty Zombies experience. We find ourselves once again trying to learn as to the events that transpired before we got where we got in Die Machine. So I'm really hoping that with this next game that we get a very detailed and immersive backstory that we can fall in love with, a whole new storyline, and see it progress out. Tell me what you think in the comments below.
In addition to being canon, it's an experience that immerses and innovates on the core Treyarch Zombies gameplay. This is Darren Fung.
Yes. Darren Fung. The beginning. Now, if you guys could see, they take a lot of inspiration from how forgotten. that's how memorable that map was. But Forsaken, that they definitely have this element of dark ether. We'll say that.
With Darren Fung exploring the mystical and the occult, it was important to convey an unsettling and brutal feel to the world.
Sightlines will be obscured by piles of dead corpses from Soviet and German soldiers, and it all comes to life, so to speak, in Vanguard's epic World War II setting.
Which this is what I've been saying for a while, that I really wish that they'd take a World War II, the factor of the scary, the unexpected, the jumpy, the really set you on unease at the edge of your chair every second of the game. I love that fact about World War II. Did not like the fact that it pretty much gave me a detailed step-by-step instruction as to how to beat it. Granted, there is a lot of players out there that has not been around in the community for years. They do not understand what it takes to do Easter eggs and all that. And they still want to enjoy the cutscenes and things like that, which I have no problem with the way that they did in Forsaken by having a cutscene in the middle. So even if you can't really finish out the Easter egg, you still get something. And then you can always go back and retry again, and you might get it the next time. That was always the love of Zombies to me. It was always a challenge. It always taught you to be better than the day that you came out here. Always be working more. And that sounds silly in a game, to be working so hard to be better at a game, but we find ourselves doing that every single day if we play Warzone, if we play multiplayer, or if we play any of the other variety games that are out there, we are constantly challenging ourselves to be better, to create more, to do something great. And I really feel that inside this game, we could do something great. Let's keep watching.
With Vanguard Zombies, we really tried to bring a new experience for all types of different players, from current players and really to getting new players into the zombies ecosystem, right? Cold War brought Outbreak, and we've really taken the best mechanics, smashed it together, and created Vanguard Zombies.
Our enemies have allies from beyond this mortal realm.
So Duranfang, the beginning. It's the start of a new Treyarch Dark Ether zombie story.
The events of Black Ops Cold War brought an end to one storyline. The events of Vanguard represent a new arc. Zombies players have witnessed the catastrophic outcome, the science experiments at Project End Station.
Project End Station was a Nazi particle accelerator that punched a hole through the dimensional veil and gave us access to the Dark Ether, where these 5 otherworldly artifacts come from.
Now, they do go into explain these artifacts a little bit more, but they do not really explain the backstory to them. So I really encourage you to watch each of these as they're talked about and what kind of influence that it could have on more history than what we previously knew.
Each one linked to a powerful Dark Ether entity.
There is Cortifex the Deathless, Syraxis the Shadow, Nordicus the Conqueror, Invictor the Destroyer, and Belikar the Warlock. These Dark Ether entities bind their powers to our human operators through artifacts crafted in the Dark Ether, each granting unique abilities like Frostblast and Ring of Fire.
Basically, it's our new field upgrades.
Now, anyone who touches them forms a symbiotic bond with a Dark Ether entity. It's almost like being possessed, except the entities can't control their host. They can only offer guidance and their powers.
Exposure to the Dark Ether also allowed the Nazis to expand their research into dark magic.
Enter Oberfuhrer Wolfram von List, a ruthless officer in command of an SS battalion called Die Wahrheit. This was the group that plundered antiquities from around the world. Von List forced top experts to help him, explorers, historians, and a demonologist named Gabriel Kraft. Professor Kraft's deep knowledge of the occult ultimately led von List to these artifacts. Von List bonds with the most powerful entity of them all, Cortifex, the Deathless.
Now, if you was paying attention, this is actual history that we can look up and read, that it was a group of SS army was dispatched to different places around the world in search of different artifacts that was either held as mystical, religious, as well as they was looking for an entrance to a mythical place. They called it Thule. They believed, this is that party, they believed their superior, they believed that they was over everyone else because they was the superior race. And through the years of being bred within, well, being inbred as they would describe it, being inbred with the dirty, unclean, has kept them from having their supernatural and powerful abilities that they originally started with. They believe that if they find the entrance to Thule, that they would be able to find their fellow race in its ancestry, in which they would be able to perfect their bloodlines. If you don't believe me, look up some history. You might be surprised as to what really has gone on in the world. We'll keep going.
This former lord of the Dark Ether grants him the ability to raise the dead. And that's why, a year after their worst defeat, von List takes Die Wahrheit back to Stalingrad. And he's going to raise an undead army, march them across Europe, and annihilate the Allied forces.
The zombies actually are undead bodies from the past war at the Eastern Front.
Professor Kraft sends out a distress call. That call is answered by Vanguard Special Forces operators, but they end up trapped inside a barrier erected by Cortifex to seal off Stalingrad. They can't call for reinforcements, but they have Professor Kraft's expert guidance and their own unmatched combat skills. And
Now, as we can see here, we have Energy Mine, Ether Shroud, Ring of Fire, and Frost Blast. These are the gods, and these are the artifacts in which we're going to be able to load up with and start with each game with. Will they be expanding on these come later in the season? Will it be supportable by the story line? I really believe it will be, simply if you think there could be more gods, more different things that we could discover along the way. And also, with the mention that I had with these each being maybe a historical value by influence on different civilizations throughout history, where you have this conqueror really gives off a Nordic Viking, Norse mythology, something in there. Where if you look at another, they have Egyptian roots. I really believe that we can see a little bit of the elements that BO4 originally played with being actually used in implemented in a very awesome way.
and 4 Dark Ether entities willing to bond with them and share their powers.
They do this in the interest of defeating Cortifex the Deathless.
While these entities may be helping humans, players will find out that they have their own agendas.
It's an unlikely team-up, but it's our only shot at keeping the Third Reich from winning World War II.
We had a lot of fun designing the different objective environments.
Now, I know that was a very sudden pause, and I'm going to rewind very shortly because I just want you to hear what she says.
We had a lot of fun designing the different objective environments. Each location has a very distinct look and feel to the play space, so that no two areas will feel similar.
As players explore the realm of dark ether magic against the backdrop of Stalingrad, they'll encounter shrines, rituals, and sacrifices.
With so many different elements in play, it was important to establish unique visuals. It is a look that feels more grounded, something you can have nightmares about. The occult was something that really wanted to touch. It has so many different variables, like summoning portals, blood rituals.
Hanging skulls, seances.
When it comes to zombie types, we run the gamut.
We have your basic grunt zombie.
Now, before we get into the different types, I will say that, yes, aesthetically, this looks amazing. However, this is also a big cop-out. Reusing multiplayer maps, reusing different assets can definitely make a mode a lot better for having more content, but it also gives it no diversity. Zombies was always its own little story. There's years and numbers of fans that only purchased Call of Duty for their zombies because they was more interested in that storyline and that type of gameplay. If we wanted to play multiplayer, we'd play multiplayer. There's a lot of other bonus modes that gave us something of the sort that we could have played. But we played zombies. And that was for a reason. It was the unique, mystical areas that we got to go to. We've explored some of the most craziest places, to the most worn-torn places, to the most beautiful sceneries just completely destroyed. To now, I hope and pray that we don't go to just recycling everything that we have, from multiplayer over to this, from campaign over to zombies. Zombies started as its own original project. Let's not drown it again. Let it rise up, even if it rises on its own, as its own standalone game. I truly believe that this could be a great game. Now into the zombie types. They use the same formula, which you're gonna love.
Zombie.
And we also have our heavies.
These big guys carry around miniguns, and those are the Sturmkriegers, or Storm Warriors. They are really hard to bring down, and it's hard to avoid them when they shoot. We also have
they shoot
something
back.
called the Boom Schreier, which means boom screamer in German.
These are zombies that will run real quick and explode in contact.
It's a wide variety of threats, and they all start to pile up as you get further in rounds.
Approaching their own fun was important for us to stay true to our lineage while also building something brand new.
You'll find all of the classics, right? Pack-a-punch, mystery box, crafting table.
But there's a lot we're doing different this time.
There's a lot they're doing different this time. If you believe zombies nostalgia extends from a mystery box, a pack-a-punch machine, and a craft table that was just introduced very recently in the game series, I don't know if you are a true zombies OG or not. The original zombies was so different from everything else that you ever played, and that's what made it so popular.
Too.
The runes are something new in Vanguard. Dark Ether rune magic is the thing that the Dark Ether entities use to manifest their powers. That winds up being very important as the story plays out.
Killing zombies no longer matters. It's picking up runes. Sure, you might have to kill a zombie to drop one, as you'll see later. But that just adds more RNG to everything.
We tried really hard to make it accessible for new players.
It's super easy to jump in and get started, right? You don't need to know anything about previous zombie experiences to enjoy this. Spawn into the map with your friends, jump into a portal, do an objective. You're in it. That's you playing, and you're playing successfully. From the cap.
So if you was hoping and wondering if this was a round-based map, it's not. Is this an Easter egg map? It does not seem to be that either. This seems to be an objective until there is no more objectives. I'm quite speechless on this part. This is the part that has me baffled.
Casual to the hardcore, there's enough for you to dive into.
In Vanguard, we get players right into the action so they can start blasting away.
Fighting zombies is the core of this mode, and it's what all our fans love doing, and we give you plenty of ways to do that.
Players start the game in the snowy graveyard of Stalingrad.
The forward operating base of our allied operators in Der Anfang. Here, the players have access to many of the upgrade machines they will need in the battles ahead.
However, players can't get too comfortable here because Stalingrad is still inhabited by roaming zombies.
The area is relatively confined, but as you complete objectives, the map opens up, offering access to other powerful upgrades like the perk fountains.
So basically what they're saying, and this is the new concept behind everything, is you're going to have a single static location, this forward command, and out of that static location you'll go to a portal, go to a new area, and complete an objective there. Once you complete that objective, you'll gain some rewards and gain something, and then you'll return to forward command. At this point, you'll be able to get perks, guns, and whatnot. Definitely love this idea, and at the end of this video I'll explain a little idea that I've had for a long time, and I really believe it would be the savior of all zombies community. Everyone would have their place, everyone would feel at home, and everyone could grind out however much they want. And if you'd like to check that out, stay tuned till the end of this video to hear my opinions.
As players complete these various challenges, they will open up the forward operating base to new threats and opportunities. Your Dark Ether enemies grow in power with each new objective, so you'll need all the help you can get. That means using traditional methods like buying perks and upgrading your weapons at the Pack-a-Punch, but we're also adding a new means of gaining power through the Altar of Covenants.
A brand new system to zombies that randomizes every time you come back from an objective what you can purchase with a nasty sacrificial heart.
Which can be exchanged at the Altar of Covenants for one of 3 random upgrades. Choose from power-ups like Ammo Gremlin, which reloads non-equipped weapons over time, or Brain Rot, to turn zombies into allies, or Unholy Ground, for those times when you really need to hold your position.
Is that going to replace the upgrade ability to Pack-a-Punch? I don't truly know how they're planning on doing this. I don't know if the Pack 3 times system will come back as it was in Cold War. However, the way that I've heard a lot of people over on Twitter, the Gaming Revolution, and a few others, that you will come back every round or every objective, and you'll have a choice at a random selection to either add equipment to yourself, add something to your perk, or something along those lines. It will be a means of upgrade, but you only have a choice of 3 things. And you have to choose which one to spend your blood skull wisely.
Step 1 is always, what gun do you have? Because those will all play very differently with the Covenants.
I think players are going to...
I hope they fix guns across the map and make it where it's more guns are useful and not even worth your time. Forsaken, they had an Easter egg out where they made you get a rifle, a sniper rifle, a handgun, and a submachine gun. Is that because those are the 3 most unused guns inside of the zombies mode to date because of the way that they've made it? Submachine gun, if anybody can remember, PPSH and the M40 are true iconic guns of zombies.
To find that when they pair up with a different Dark Ether entity, it feels like a completely distinct experience.
So you're just combining your guns, your Covenants, your equipment, the things you're finding in the world.
You can have freedom to be in a cool place that would never exist in the real world.
It's a different region with different inhabitants and, in turn, different gameplay elements.
And with Vanguard Zombies, we're bringing that in spades.
Moving to the world of the occult provided plenty of inspiration around the visual identity of the game, and it helped us shape the way we think about the map design.
We built zombies on the same engine as Vanguard. We wanted to make this unified with the rest of the game, while still have its own identity that is more of a fantasy look.
Players
If you close off some doors, you add some skulls, you don't put any wall buys, you don't put any perk machine that's only for that location, you don't do anything significantly special to make it special, it won't be special. It will be a multiplayer map with a reskin.
will battle across the rooftops of Hotel Royale on a rainy night in Paris. They'll fight at the base of a massive burning windmill in Merville, which was actually part of the Normandy invasion. And they'll find themselves in the classic swamps of Shinonuma, which is a truly eerie setting that our longtime fans will be familiar with.
Dark Ether magic has allowed the team to really bubble up some interesting new ideas that we have not explored in past Zombies experiences.
The different objectives you're tasked with really alter how the player experiences the various environments.
Now we're going to go into a breakdown of a couple of the challenges that they're going to explain for us now. Do I believe there's going to be more challenges as well as different difficulty levels for each challenge? I truly believe so. I think it will have the same feel and the same pacing as Outbreak does.
There's an objective called Blitz, which takes inspiration from that holdout style gameplay of just surviving, but this time you're taking the fight to them.
So basically, normal zombie mode.
In Harvest, you hunt zombies who drop runestones that you can collect. Players must then deposit these into an obelisk called the Sin Eater.
So basically, it's a more advanced soul box.
In Transmit, you'll escort a floating zombie head as it seeks weaknesses in the dimensional barrier to the dark.
Just because people on Xbox didn't get it for a long time, doesn't mean you can just take a mode straight off of Onslaught, put it in here, and call it new features.
Dark Ether. These different challenges and eerie environments with dark settings help the player feel enveloped in Cortifex's grasp, and we can't wait for our fans to experience it.
Darun Fung is a brand new experience that explores the Dark Ether universe in exciting, fresh ways. Launch is really just the tip of the iceberg. Everything post-launch is gonna bring new twists, new stories, new characters, brand new gameplay. And it's all part of Vanguard's advanced global progression system featuring player and weapon leveling, plus battle pass system integration. This is a whole new way to experience zombies. Welcome to Call of Duty Vanguard. Darun Fung awaits.
I definitely think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a really great game no matter how they come out with it, no matter what they do. I truly believe it's going to be something fun. Let's throw something up a little in the background just so I'm not speaking over nothing. But basically, as to my understanding with it, we're going to be starting out in this central hub and we'll be having new areas to explore. As we expand, we will gain new functions, new features, and new things that we can do inside the game, which is a very great aspect and a very great look on how to transform the game from just being start the game, go until you die, or start the game, do the Easter egg, now it's over. Yes, that is the original concept. That is the round-based idea. And do I believe that we do need to move on from that? Yes, I truly do believe that we do need to move on from it. But I'm not saying that we need to just throw it away and what it's taught us over the years. What it has taught us with the round-based is that each time we could get into the game, we can do something faster. We can do something more efficient. We can do this, we can do that. We had so many options. The options given to us was so plentiful on how we can complete whatever objective we had. Not just doing a pencil, paper, scripted experience. I remember back in IW Zombies that we probably spent more hours not doing Easter eggs, but doing random other wild, just crazy things. Riding this or doing this Easter or any of these things. We had side Easter eggs in a couple of the maps, we didn't really get a lot of side Easter eggs until just recently, when we pretty much begged for them to start doing it again. And Forsaken, they have gave us a good fair share amount of that, as well as a mid cutscene, as well as a final cutscene. These are the things that the zombies community live for. If I'm to be blunt and say my opinion, that doesn't mean that we need to change from that, but more progress with it. So what I've thought, and I've thought for quite a while now, even before Outbreak even came out, which when Outbreak came out, I was so excited because I thought that was finally going to be the answer, the mode that was going to make everything amazing. But when you come to round-based maps and you come to Outbreak, you can definitely see there is a big difference in the way the game plays and everything that way. Is it easier to play Outbreak? It's easier to be a new player and to get the ability to play zombies. Does it make you have that feeling as you as a child again? No, but that's also because we are now trying to, not we are, but the zombies community is trying to expand from where it originally was with the older crowd to a new younger crowd, a new younger market, same as Activision is doing, by trying to make these modes where they can be played by new players that don't know who Rick Toffin is, or don't know who Samantha was, and don't know the significance of Dr. Gersh or any of the people from our story that we treasured for years. BO4 came out and we strayed away from our original story, and it was so much hate that it brought down the company to its knees to hurry up and finish off the end so they can get to making new, which was very terrible. And I'm still a little salty over the way the BO4 ended, and I do enjoy that they did end it and they gave a good ending to it, but it was a little rushed. I think they could have further expanded, and with this new universe coming about, I truly believe that they could have had some pretty interesting interactions with not only the Victus crew, but as well as Ultimus and Primus. However, by canceling that out, putting an end to it so they can start fresh, I think that they realize this and they might be trying to give the ability for more openness, more acceptability of different things coming into play that wasn't in Cold War. We didn't have these perk fountains and all this stuff. We had, or spirit fountains, or whatever they're calling it in this game. We didn't have that. However, we did have the machines. So if we take a third-person step back and look at the original storyline, it was they found these meteors. These meteors contained this element. This element was used to be able to make different elixirs. These elixirs gave way to the perks, this and all this. These were rocks. Meteors, they called it, because as to the story arc in that universe, those meteors came from corrupted keepers trying to send element 115 toward us to corrupt us, and so on and so forth. Now, can we not say the same thing if we step back and look at the way they're using Dark Ether in this one, that it is still, again, corruption influencing from outside beings? So, can we go finger in finger and hand in hand in keeping each respected universe in its own intactment? Yes, I truly believe so, and I believe that we could actually visit the other universe through our own conquest of trying to learn the multiverse, same as Richtofen did, as described in the Canorium. Think about that. We are another universe now that has not went through the same trials and tribulations as the other one trying to find an answer or an end. So, do I believe that this mode is going to be amazing? Do I believe that we're going to see a lot of awesome gameplay out of it? Yes. Yes, I do. But the objective and all that is going to hinder the ability for a lot of old players to jump on and really fall in love with it again. And I hope that everybody can enjoy this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed it. Let me know with a like. Heck, if you would follow me, I'll keep you up to date on everything that I find out as I find it out. Because this is something that I'm going to be watching every single day until November 5th to find out what I can. Because I really want a good zombies year. I want an amazing list of content. Maps out the wazoo, which can be possible with the MP maps being used as well as other assets inside the game. My truest vision is if we can have a standalone game, and this standalone game begins everything again, and we start in a central hub just like this, and we progressively move through the storyline of zombies. We arrive at Noctur and Toten with Peter McCain and all of that. We arrive to Verrucht and all of that. We go to Shinanuma and we see Pete hanging from a failed jump. We see every step, every leg of the way. We live the zombie storyline. Go through each portal, we start a new round map, a new round-based map. Beat it, we get teleported out to the next place we gotta go. And whoa, what's this? In an unfortunate event, we're stuck in a ice locker. Where are we? Is that George we hear? Yes. We can travel right alongside of them and do step by step what has transpired. All in a round-based individual. Throw saves up in between. Save the game. Come back and play it. This would make for a very, very detailed, strong storyline that would be so replayable that you would play through it once and then wonder, if I did this differently, if I did that differently, what if I did this or did that? And you can see the actual effects because we are working inside of a multiverse now. We have the old ether and we have the new dark ether. And we could really play with the two of those if things start colliding. I don't know, but I'm definitely wanting to see if they feature anything to do with Maxis, Eddie. We know that we might see Sokolov. We don't know as to the extent that we'll see him or understand what's going on, or if it will be just something in a cutscene at the very end map. But all I know is this is going to be an exciting year, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. Until next time, this is Seaswolf. Have a good one.